also, I will be going over a lot of information, so just bear with me. Now, oh, and also too, I just want to say thank you so much for being so patient with this, with this session, right? Which I did include your Merkaba activation, and I'm sure you're feeling the effects of that and how awesome it is. That is kind of something you may want to keep up with on a routine basis, like about every 60 to 90 days or so. Okay, now our Merkaba actually is the vehicle in which allows us to be multi-dimensional beings. And what I've found is that the more conscious, the more aware my clients become and myself become, the more that kind of affects us. And it also, business within 2 years. Now, we're going to be going in a little more deeper with your manifestation blueprint. Now, of course, as you know, through choice and consequence, we are all continuously manifesting our reality. And the key things here, or the key thing that I always try to bring up right away, is the energy. The energy in which we do actions is the energy in which we are going to experience our future manifestations. So, let's say, for example, if you're out doing a bunch of energy actions or doing a bunch of actions in the energy of obligation, you're going to create more obligation. You are embodying your state of being in the actions that you're taking. And you really want to even take note of all the actions, even the more state of being actions. Now, the first thing we're going to be going over is your vibrational bandwidth. Now, a bandwidth, think of it like a rubber band. Okay, it stretches back and forth. Now, it takes many, many lifetimes to shift or change our bandwidth. So this is something that it takes years and years, or especially a zero. I mean, I can't see them manifesting consciously anything because they are very limited on their ability to get outside their comfort zone. Now, the other end of that spectrum, let's say 0.9, those souls manifest so quickly, but they don't do so consistently, meaning that they can manifest something once, but then to try to re-manifest it or to manifest a certain thing consistently, it becomes much more difficult. Now, and also too, they tend to just kind of manifest sporadically, erratically. It's very seldom is it grounded in practicality. Now, being at a 0.6, that is perfect. Okay, that means that you manifest somewhat quickly. Not the fastest manifester, but you definitely manifest at a very consistent basis, and you manifest very consistently results that are, whenever you do shift vibrationally, it's not a temporary shift. You move more to steadily consistent way towards your manifestation. Being at a 0.6 also too means that you are more able to get outside your comfort zone than say someone at the lower end of 0.1, 0.2, 0.0 of that spectrum. So it's a very beautiful place to be. So just know that and be confident in that you manifest very consistently, very concisely, and also too, you're willing to get outside your comfort zone. Now, the thing I'm going to be going over is your vibrational plasticity. Now, this is the energy resources that you have available to you to manifest with. Now, more than, say, someone that, if that, usually like when you get just a matter of new results manifest, and also too, it's not as depleting energetically. So awesome. 7% is awesome. Now, your vibrational plasticity is something that you can change very, very rapidly. So the more soul realignment work you do, the more you heal this God spark, the more access you'll have to vital life force energy. Now, vital life force energy is something that we access through our divine soul blueprint. And it is uniquely our energy. You can rearrange it, you can manifest a lot. The more you access vital life force energy, the more you can manifest and create what you want to experience. Now, so awesome on both things, being a 0.6 and 7% vibrational plasticity. This should feel somewhat fairly easy. There are going to be some rough patches. There will be some course corrections along the way, but we're going to get to that in a minute. Now, the first thing I'll look at is to find out if this intention is possible, which it is. Awesome. The next thing I'll look at is it aligned to your divine self-expression? Awesome. Again, it is aligned to your divine self-expression. Now, the next thing we look at is on a current choice trajectory, meaning are your current choices and actions moving in the direction of your manifestation? And it is. Awesome. Now, the total vibrational shift needed to manifest your intention is 1.9%. And that's a lot. So yes, 2 years, minimum 2 years is how it came up. So minimum 2 years from now, you can do this. Now, the most likely time frame, it came up as 3 years. But being that you're a 0.6 someone like me, I'm a 0.9. So when I say it's very erratic, very quickly, it's telling you what. And it's also the current choice trajectory that you're currently on is aligned to your intention. Now, the energetic quality of the choice trajectory is dedication. Now, you know, it really is up to you. What do you want to experience? Now, dedication can be, I'm sure, a beautiful thing, but it also, to me, seems like it might be a little taxing, you know, like it's not as rewarding. Or maybe you're wanting to experience. Now, however, that is the energetic quality of your current choices. That means actions that you're taking, of your mundane actions. Think about what energy are you doing most of your actions every day. You know, mundane actions, right? Brushing your teeth, drinking your coffee. You know, not any of your big actions, not yet. So you want to spend at least 3 weeks on your experience and then shift to more of your bigger manifesting action. Require new action, but you kind of have been in that mode already, right? Because you are going to school and you are doing this, and you know, you've created this business plan. The business does exist in the Akashic records, even though it's not in your reality per se, but you've already actually gave birth to it when you did that business plan. Now, I do energetic business type work, which I'm trying to think of exactly what it's called. Just totally. Anyway, it's where we go in and it's kind of like an energetic startup for your business. Now, I did one for Divine Empowerment, and it definitely helped. I don't know that I actually would have ever moved without it, because it does feed on your vital life force energy. So for like about 24 hours or 48 hours, you feel a little exhausted. So make sure that you have that kind of time to, you know, just kind of rest and relax if that's something you're interested in. All right. Now, I did come up with a list of actions here, which I am trying to do those introductory videos, because I have some sessions where I need information, or I need certain things from the client. So I'm definitely working on that. Now, these are the new actions that I came up for. We're all in alignment. Now, the one is applying for grants. There are a lot of political platforms, a lot of government grants available for this type of business. So you might want to, and then number two is researching non-profit businesses as well. And yes, because see, non-profit, you can set it up, and basically anyone that meets the requirements. Of course, you can have those that don't meet the requirements, and they can still pay for the services, but you can really open it up to a lot more people if you did the assisted or non-profit type situation. Now, with non-profit, I know you think, oh, but there's no profit. However, depending on how you set it up, you could set it up and you would be the chair board, or you would be the head of the nonprofit, right? And then basically you could say, well, you get 30% of whatever comes in. It just means that you can't show a profit at the end of the day. So, it is kind of a cool place to be in, because I've seen a lot of people do non-profit business. Now the next thing is 3, recruiting investors. Oh, that's going to be a tough one, right? No one likes to ask for money. It's like, oh. But it did come up as an new action for you, and it is in alignment with your intention. 4 was looking for a business location, which is something that you did mention that you're wanting to do. So definitely actively do that. Even though you're not quite ready to buy or invest, still that action is another action towards your manifestation. And then the 5th one was writing to your state and local, grants. Some grants are basically, they just give you the money and you get to pay it back, and it's like practically no interest over so many years. And then other grants are, there's all different kinds of grants. So just contacting your local state representatives, they can definitely help you or guide you into the right place there. Now, all of those actions will shift you 1.9%. Mintalkin, number 1. Mintalkins are very variable variety. And then 2, you're also a variable manifester, an 83 on the spectrum. That's pretty high. So you need to do a lot of different actions, new actions. So you want to think of at least 3 per week, and you want to keep doing those until the dissonance shows up. When the dissonance shows up, and it will, you have to keep doing your new actions. Don't stop. When the dissonance shows up, and believe me, I've experienced some pretty heavy duty dissonance, especially recently with my broken ribs. And it can quite literally happen to you physically. It doesn't mean that it will. Now, I was doing a whole lot of new actions back in March, and sure enough, it hit. Of course, it kind of like stopped me, because that was kind of some severe dissonance. I've had other dissonance similar to that, but they usually went away right away, because I was able to keep going. Now, so again, the more you push through the dissonance, the faster it dissipates, the faster it goes away. Now, also too, you're an outcome manifester, meaning focus on the outcome, not necessarily how you get from point A to point B. More focus on the end result. However, you're 77, and because we've been taught, and this is coming up very, very strong for you, that you've been taught that you always need a plan. You need a plan of action. So yes, continue to do that. Being at a 77 is not so close to the 100 mark, but you're not quite close enough to the 50 mark to really focus too much on a process or a plan of action. But you do need that. It does give you structure and grounding. But make sure that you focus on the outcome as much as you do the process, the planning, plan of action. Now, let's see what else. Oh, and also too, you're reactive and you're highly reinventive. You're 12, like me. I'm way down there too. So, whenever I became an advanced soul realignment practitioner, I completely reinvented the modality for me and my clients. So I was not innovative. I didn't come up with a brand new modality, right? I took something that was already existing, I reinvented it, I made it faster, more efficient, more everything, right? I improved on what already existed. That's the same idea with you. So don't feel like you have to come up with this whole innovative new birthing experience. No. Focus, study what other people are doing, take what resonates, and then reinvent, make it better, right? A better experience for you and your clients. And you're also reactive, so it means finding other birthing centers that, and it doesn't necessarily have to be birthing centers. It could be anyone that's doing some sort of soul work, right? And just figuring out, asking, or reading about them, or whatever it is, learning how it is that they got to where they're at, right? Because it's so strange, and I've done this, with many of my clients actually, where they've told me how they've gotten to a certain experience or whatever, and I'm like, whoa, wow. Everyone is different, right? But because you're reactive, that is actually going to motivate you and help you guide you into your manifestation. It's looking at others and how you want to be like that, or you want to be that successful, or you want to be whatever it is that they're doing. It doesn't mean it has to be identical, right? It just means you're reactive. So it's kind of like coming from outside you. Whereas if you were instigative, that means it has to come from within. Now, let's see what else. Oh, you're also exclusive. So, that did come up with you at the end of this session, guidance for being exclusive and what that means. So, let's go ahead and finish this part, and then I'm going to get into the guidance, which I've written it all out here. Okay, so in 2019, you shifted vibration 3%. That's a lot. So I'm sure you probably look back at 2018 and then look at where you are now, and I'm sure you see and feel huge difference in your experience. Now, the longest time frame for you to shift 1%, and remember, 1% is a lot. It is a lot. And it could be creating this dissonance or this triggering that you're experiencing with your husband and such. Sometimes when we shift vibrationally, it creates this, we no longer resonate to this other person. It does not mean that that person cannot shift and come up to your vibe vibrationally. There is kind of like a friction, or I like to think of it like triggering. Like whenever I shift vibrationally, I can be triggered, or others in my reality can be triggered because I'm shifting vibrationally. And it comes from our subconscious, from our ego. Your husband's ego could be like, oh, there's something not right. And it creates this triggering effect where they try to get you to come back and stay in your current vibration. I know, funny, right? You can actually check out a video of mine. It's called The Ego. I can't think of it, but my brain. So the ego, the ego is what keeps us safe, right? And anytime we shift vibrationally, it can trigger our ego to this high alert state. That our ego doesn't know that it's safe over there in that vibrational state of being. So you may want to have the conversation with your ego that you're ready to drive your reality. You're ready to drive. They can take a back seat, take a nap, whatever. Because if you go out and you just try to do a whole bunch of new actions, sometimes it does set you back, actually, rather than move you forward. But you actually maintained 2% vibrational shift in 2019. So see, that's where that 0.6 vibrational bandwidth comes in. That is priceless. I can shift in a year 3 to 4%, but I may only maintain 1.5%, 2%. And it's because it's so erratic. Because you're that 0.6, it's very consistent, it's very solid. And that you've ever shifted 1% is 3 months. So that's very rapidly. So it could have been, a natural disaster, and it just totally changes your entire routine, so to speak. You can create those huge shifts. Now, again, the most likely time frame came up as 3 years. The shortest possible time frame is 2 years. The faster you want to go, the more that ego is going to come up and try to stop that your ego is familiar with. So don't try to push too much too soon. Just do a variety of new actions. And the more you do this, the more comfortable you'll feel taking new actions, getting more and more up. And that was presenting your business plan to as many people as you're just putting it out there. Make sure that every single conversation that you have, especially that you're putting that out there, you're making it known that you're in this realm. Here's your business plan. This is what I want to do. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm going to do. And that is kind of, I don't know about you, but that makes me extremely uncomfortable. Is putting myself out there and telling people what I do. Now, here is the guidance that came through. So you may want to pause this, get a pen and paper. Okay, the first one is 15 to 20 minutes daily. Preferably in the morning or in the evening. Make sure, it's quiet, almost like a meditation, but just get comfortable, relax, take some deep breaths, center yourself. You want to visualize yourself running the business. What would you be doing? How would it feel? Would you be close-knit with your clients, your staff? Would you be more business-like and professional? How would you delegate the responsibilities? Now that last one is key because you are divine power and you are a Mintalkin. So that means you can take on a lot of responsibilities. Wanting to become a midwife, right? Because I'm a Mintalkin divine power too. And just because you can be the midwife and the business owner and the best situation for you, I don't see that would actually make you happy. If you were out trying to run the business, do this, and be the midwife, it would just be a lot on your plate. It would definitely take a lot of dedication on your part. So think about that. Now, 2 is once a week, sit down and start outlining a procedure manual for each employment position. And what I mean is when you hire a receptionist, or when you hire a cleaning person, or a midwife, you have an actual manual that outlines their position, everything that they're responsible for, everything that's required of them. And that takes time. So you need to start that now. You don't want to get out there, open this business, and not have that in place. That came up as key to success for you in this business. It's making sure that everyone knows their responsibilities. They know what they're responsible for. Doesn't mean that you have to go into a lot of detail, but you definitely want to, do the position, and whatever else you want to add in there. Now you could probably Google procedure manuals for employment positions if you need some examples to refer to. The 3rd item, once a month, work on a company policy manual. Again, that's huge. That means overall company policy. What will that look like? And again, you can Google policy company manuals to kind of get some ideas, see what resonates, what doesn't resonate. 4, reach out to other successful birthing centers, because you're reactive now in your manifestation blueprint, for possible interviews. Birth centers. And then make a pros and con list. This is where it comes into your it is your exclusive, because you're exclusive. You have to figure out what you don't want, to figure out what you do to the place to be in, especially in this type of business with a birthing center. Doing the research, visiting a client or whatever, and ask them questions, okay? Figure out how they do things, what they're doing. And then you make your pros and cons, right? That's how you can kind of narrow that down and come up with the best area or the best way that you want to provide the service to your clientele. A lot of people figure out what I didn't want so I could figure out what I did want. So I didn't get attached. I mean, literally, I would date someone for 10 minutes. And, all right, I don't want that. So it is kind of like that same thing, but especially in this birthing center. And because I already know that your vision, what you're focusing on is so beautiful. So by doing this work now, you're actually creating that beautiful experience right from the beginning. Instead of you getting there and then 6 months of, because by then you want to pull your hair out. So this is very, very important. You will figure out what you don't want, so you can figure out what you do want now. And now you can start too by looking at the business look. I like that perfect place, this perfect business, this perfect birthing center. And then the final thing is, because you're reinventive, do not try to be innovative here. Research facilities. Create your own unique experience, yes. Sometimes as reinventive, we get so caught up, stuck even, in trying to innovate something that already exists. Now, instead of improving on what already exists, again, putting yourself out there, contacting, just learning, seeing what other people are offering. Take it all in so that you can create this beautiful, unique experience from you.